He's with the Wharton School of Finance. He's a professor, highly respected. And I can't find anything, but I suspect he's Keynesian. Those of you who do not understand what that means, I highly encourage you to go look it up. Keynesian economics. You'll learn something, I promise.
Professor Jeremy Siegel of the Wharton School. He joins us right now. Professor, it's good to see you again. What are your thoughts as we watch these lows of June?
What are your thoughts? And he's very animated. I had to go back and watch some of this guy's stuff. He doesn't move a whole lot. The bouncing up and down with his head, the antsiness, the tightness in the mouth. What are your thoughts? Is not normal for him. He's very laid back kind of guy.
At least be taken out from the Dow standpoint, and maybe in the days ahead we find the other major averages in this same precarious place.
Yeah, certainly. You know, Scott, I find it very amusing. A year ago at that September meeting, when we had booming commodity prices, when housing prices rising at the fastest rate in post-war history, when we had all commodities going up at rapid rates, Fed Chairman Powell and the Fed said, we don't see any inflation. We see no need to raise interest rates in 2022.
So as he goes through this, you'll notice that as he gets more and more into this, his eyes are starting to stay closed longer and longer and longer. And his shoulders are bouncing up and down with his emphasis. He can't keep his little body from attacking the subject that he's speaking on. I'm sure he doesn't have a really little body. It just looks that way. The shirt is swallowing him.
Now when all those very same commodities and...
So now we have more animation. We've got the hands in it. And the eyes won't come open. So he doesn't like looking at this particular subject, but it has obviously made him extremely angry with the bouncing. I don't want to look at it, but I am going to attack it with my eyes closed. Remind you of anything? It should, because fear. Fear is what that signifies. You need to fight, but you're afraid, but you fight anyways. You're just hoping that the blows that come at you don't hit you, which is why you keep your eyes closed.
Asset prices are going down. He sees, stubborn inflation that requires the Fed to stay tight all the way through 2023. Makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Way too tight. We do not have to get anywhere near that level to stop inflation, because all the inflation is basically stopped. It's basically stopped. I mean, you had a headline just came across 3 minutes ago, oil back to January levels. That's before Russia invaded Ukraine. You can see what's happening to commodities. We're going to get the Case-Shiller index next week. It's going to show no increase or a decrease for the first time in years. And that's a lagged indicator. On the ground, commodity, all the prices are going down. The only thing that's not going down is wages. And by the way, wages are in catch-up mode. Don't argue they're pushing inflation. They're lagging inflation. I mean, the workers are trying to get what a little bit back of what the inflation happens to be. I think the Fed is just way too tight. They're making exactly the same mistake on the other side that they made a year ago.
There are those who agree.
So he makes that final statement. They're making exactly the same mistake they did a year ago. His arm is way up in the air and he's hammering it over there, meaning the past. And then he comes and he closes with his mouth pretty much bolted shut. I'm going to assume because he would rather scream.
I agree with you, who think that the Fed is oversteering.
Yeah,
but saying it doesn't do anything for the scenario that we're currently in. If they continue to do it, whether you think it's right or wrong, if they continue to do it, what does it mean for stocks?
Well, until he sees the light and says, you know what, I don't think we have to be so tight, until...
So now we are hearing sarcasm come through. Until he sees the light, and you don't have to be so tight. And he still has his eyes closed. Now, mind you, he kind of looks all the time like his eyes are closed, but not to this degree. He's literally has slits.
Until that happens, you can still have pressure on stocks. I mean, and that's going to, that's probably one of the factors that can see the light. I mean, when he sees how high real rates have gone, the dollar, the highest in 20 or 30 years. By the way, next Tuesday, we're going to get the monthly money supply data, which is going to show the greatest decline in 5 months that we've had in the post-war period. I mean, if he looks at any of the monetary or financial indicators, he can't say, oh, we have to keep them on. I mean, at his press conference, he said, we have to get real rates in the positive territory. They're in positive territory for every maturity. For the first time in years, we're already there. I thought.
I have to say, at this point, as he's sitting there talking about the other side, maybe he should go to Powell and start asking the questions. This would be really good. He needs to be a journalist for about a day and go talk to Powell. He's being very honest with you. Now, I honestly don't agree with his belief system and finances and things of that nature, but just so you understand my view on this and what my biases are or what you perceive my bias to be. But he's very open. His truth, his honesty, you can see it. His arms are open. These charts, these graphs, they're showing this, that.
That was the most uninformative. And no one was asking him the hard question. How do we have 3.2 million new workers and GDP going down? What does that mean? What does the record decline in the money supply mean? I mean, what does the collapse in commodity prices mean? What is the lag construction of these housing indicators that are 40% of the core inflation, which are going to filter through inflation for the next 12 to 15 months? Is that what he's looking at? Why is he looking at that? That's not an accurate view of what housing inflation is. I mean, there were no hard questions. There were 50 reporters there. I don't know. They basically said, repeat the statement you made at the beginning. There's so many things I ask him. What is he actually looking at? I mean, he's looking at 3-month annualized core inflation that is a lag. Well, we all look at market. I mean, look at what does the stock market do? It looks at market-oriented data. And that's what
Professor,
the Fed should be looking at.
I don't know that I've seen you this animated. You seem downright
I am very
angry
upset. Yes, I am. I'm afraid.
I'm very upset. Oh my goodness. It's popcorn hour, people. It is popcorn hour.
Open the darn Fed window. He has no idea how bad it is out there. He has no idea. He has no idea. And the Fed is asleep.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
To be notified of all videos that get released, because not all of them can be posted here, in the description is a link to our Telegram channel, and if you subscribe, you'll be notified of every single video, and we don't spam it with anything else other than video releases.